Hello everyone to our first session, user session, in the SmartDS Excel 2021 Summit. This user session will cover the acceleration of your company's inclusivity initiative. So what is the inclusivity initiative about? In the software industry, there are certain words we use, like blacklist, slave, that may carry a great deal of emotional baggage. And we're encouraging projects to choose phrases that communicate clearly the technical meaning without using metaphors or colloquialisms, which I had no idea what it means, so there's a definition. A word or phrase that is formal or literary, used in casual language, like riding shotgun. The goals are to identify where problematic terms are used, collaborate on replacement terminology, support project contributors in making the updates, and report on joint progress. Here are a few examples of non-inclusive words. These are the words we want to get rid of. Whitelist, blacklist, master, slave, grandfathered, and so forth. Are companies complying with this initiative? Yes. We have Apple, MySQL, Twitter, JP Morgan, GitHub, SAP, just to name a few. So this is a project that is moving forward, and I think that eventually all companies will comply with it. The challenge here is that it includes every asset in the corporation, meaning not just your code on the mainframe and open systems, and not just on your shared drives, all your documentations and emails and letters. Literally every piece of information that you can see with your eyes needs to be scanned and searched for inclusivity initiative, which is really good if you have SmartDS Excel. So SmartDS Excel has a built-in mechanism in place to really accelerate the completion of this project. And since we support all platforms, systems, languages, documentations, everything you have basically, the identification of all the required changes, as well as calculating your LOE, is simple. So let's learn the steps to accomplish the tasks required. The way SmartDS handles indexes and large amounts and volumes of information makes it pretty ideal for this kind of inclusivity project. The most simplest approach would be to simply type one of the inclusivity words, whitelist. We're looking at 47 different languages, and click the search button. We know that whitelist is used 46 times in the following languages. We can either look at the hits of each area or of all the areas of all the data types, all the languages, and export this report. And we've completed at least a part of our inclusivity initiative for the word whitelist. Then we could modify the search for another term like blacklist. Again, perform the search. We have 51 blacklist terminologies used, and they are as follows. And this can be done for all the list of words, and because SmartDS is very fast, only takes a matter of seconds, we could probably accomplish this pretty fast. But let's look at an even easier way. We're going to go to New Search. I'm going to go to search all data types. And instead of typing a list of all the words, I'm going to call upon the synonyms that we can keep generating and adding and building up over time. I'm going to see what do we have right now in our inclusivity synonym. So for inclusive terms at the moment, we have added whitelist, master slave, trunk, blacklist, dummy, grandfathered, and sanity. And this list here can of course be edited by each corporation, and there are fixed lists of words to look out for that you can find. So we're going to select this term and search for it as a synonym on all data types and see what the impact is. So as you can see, in one simple search of inclusive terms as synonyms, we have managed to show that these 8 inclusive words are used 127,000 times in 30,000 programs, over 30,000 programs. Now, as you know, in the search result statistics here, you can click and it will automatically filter only those specific data types. The same thing can be applied to the search hits breakdown. We can select a specific word, like we can go to grandfathered, blacklist, whitelist, for example, and now we will get a detailed accountability of those specific words. For example, if we start looking at these hits, and here we can see usages of whitelist, and here's blacklist, whitelist, and so forth. Grandfathered. So this was a very, very quick way of doing a simple search for one term that gave us all the usages of all the inclusive words. But that isn't going to cut it, because these words that they give us can maybe used as parts of other fields. For example, you could have a field called blacklisted or whitelisted, or you can have master record, master file. And so now we got to dig in a little bit deeper. And so phase 2 is using SmartTS to find really all the occurrences of any kind of usage of any of those words. All right, now we've reached phase 2 of finding all the inclusivity words. We know, using the synonym, we went to the global dictionary and we typed the inclusivity, and we found that this inclusive terms is able to find these 9 words. The next phase requires a little bit of manual work together with SmartTS, but the end result is very, very powerful. So as you know, if you type a wildcard like whitelist as a wildcard, it becomes hyperlinked, which allows you to perform a words lookup, which means if you click on it, you go to the dictionary, not even to the code, not to the source code, only to the internal SmartTS dictionary. It shows you all the different words that were found matching your wildcard. Here you can select different words. Here's the whitelist, which of course we know exists. Here's something called whitelist config, which I didn't know exists. Whitelisted, not whitelist, whitelisted, whitelist element, whitelist enabled, and so forth. So you can request here and select all the different words. And when you're done, you can choose if you want to search for any of these or all of these. So we say any. Of course, just clicking the search button will search for all these terms immediately. But I want to go a little bit deeper and show you with a little bit of manual labor what we can achieve. So I'm going to copy that into a regular little word editor. And I'm going to, using, replace all new lines and so forth, I replaced all the ors with new lines, and I got a list of all the words. This is nice because you can just keep on building these lists as they come along. It says one long list. And if you copy this list and paste it with no Boolean commands, so it's just a list of words, and you select any words, instead of the Boolean, you select any word, that will automatically search for any of those words. So you can dump, copy, and paste from Excel into SmartTS just a whole bunch of lists of words, hundreds of words, and it'll automatically perform the search. And if you look at the search hits breakdown, now we have a more finite breakdown of not just the whitelist, but all the different words we saw. And of course, you can click and see where is whitelist parent domain. It's in the credit card system. And where is whitelist enabled? It's in the DLLs. So it's very easy to find where items are, and you get a very finite listing of a bit deeper knowledge of all your inclusivity words. So that was just by taking the words and putting them into the system, but we selected the any word. Same thing can be applied with a blacklist, but with a blacklist, I'm going to take it one step forward. I'm going to make the wildcard wilder. I'm going to put black with a wildcard in the middle, list, wildcard at the end. So this wildcard will produce a lot more words. And here again, we go in and we start choosing which ones we want. And I went through all these words, and I came up with this list here. It's quite a big list. So I'm going to copy and paste those words now into the search box. And again, choose any of those words and perform a search. So now, again, from the word blacklist, which we had last time, we have a lot more inclusivity words to take care of. Get blacklist, get blacklist status, class blacklist, and so forth. And of course, you can create an all hits report, which will generate for you a very detailed analysis report of every single location of every single word across your entire system, which you can then save, export this into a different format like PDF, Word, Excel, HTML, and give it to the development team that's actually going to do the work. So what's nice about SmartYes is that even non-technical developers, maybe an analyst or a tester, they can do all the research and analysis about the inclusivity analysis report and initiative and just pass on the detailed reporting of where the changes need to be done. You can also request a little bit more lines before and after so that a developer will be able to see the context of every single line that needs to be changed what it was. So we give them 3-4 lines before and 3-4 lines after. Now we're going to talk about the third phase of inclusivity, which is generating one giant synonym that will find every single word that we just saw that we had realized exist using the wildcard any word search. So let's go back to synonyms, and there's a global synonym. I'm going to generate a new one, and I'm going to call it the Inclusivity Project synonym. Now I'm going to add a word. Let's start off with whitelist synonym, whitelist syn, and it wants to know what values are synonymic to that. So remember that list we had before where we generated a list of words for the any word search? Just by adding a comma next to each one of these, you generate a synonym list for it. So that's what I did, just added a comma. I'm going to paste those in here. I'm going to add the words. It's white list synonym, and I'm going to save it. So now we have in our words a whitelist syn, and these are all the words that will be found. Note I snuck in a word called Inclusivity Initiative. The entire thing is one word. I snuck it in to be part of that, and in a second we'll see why. I'm going to add another word, again from my list, that we used for the black list. And I have it for Synonym. I just added commas. So I'm going to go and take all this list, copy it, and then we're going to add another word in our dictionary, in our Inclusivity Project dictionary. The word is going to be blacklist synonym, and all my values. And again, I snuck in that word again, Inclusivity Initiative. I snuck it in there. And the reason I snuck it in there is the following. If you have a word that is now part of two synonyms, searching for that word will search for everything. Which means, if we now go to the synonyms, pretending we're doing a search, and use the Inclusivity Project, and we're looking for a word called the Inclusivity Initiative, because that word exists in the whitelist and in the blacklist synonyms, note that it will include all the whitelist words and all the blacklist words. So now, by running one simple search, we can be searching thousands and thousands of words. Let's click the search. And it doesn't take thousands and thousands of seconds. And here is a list of all the words we found with whitelist and blacklist. And again, one all hits report will give you a very detailed Inclusivity Initiative report for the entire project. And that's how you accelerate your company's Inclusivity Initiative. And now we're going to open for questions.